An older men dating guide partial to finding a younger woman. Chapter 1. Older men/younger women. Older men want to be with younger women/intergenerational dating. 1. I wouldn't be caught dead marrying a woman my age. Old guy looking for young girl. I like young girls. Less history, less hassles. Jonathan Swift in Samuel Johnson, Lives of the Poets. Swift was about 47 when he wrote the above line, at an age when vanity is strongly excited by the amorous attentions of a young woman. When I was young, I saw Tony Curtis on the David Letterman show in the 1980s say I wouldn't date a woman my age. All men regardless of age want young women. She's already what you want, you have to become what she wants. You got one thing in your advantage even if you're not rich. Young, naive girls think older men are wiser than they are even if they're not. A lot of young people think older people know something they don't know about life, even though I as a 50-year-old know that most men my age get stuck at one way of thinking at about 25 and that's it. They don't care about getting more enlightened than that, but the girl doesn't know that. She thinks she can learn something about life from you. In a nutshell, the easy way to get younger women for real, not just because you're rich, is to work out like a madman and whip yourself into shape, then have enough money so that you can spend it on them. Life is all about soul. If you've got a young soul and a thin, fit body regardless of how old you are, you can attract young women. I know a 60-year-old bodybuilder who's got all his brown hair with no gray at all and looks like he's in his mid-30s. He's got plenty of chicks interested in him. If you want a young girl, just head over to the poor part of town, either live there, get a job there, hang out there or bike through sometimes. They're out there walking the streets, they smile a lot more and give the come on signals way more than the so-called upper-class girls on the other side of town. There are plenty of pretty girls living in trailers and your chances with them are way better than the girl in the rich part of town who thinks she's gonna be a star and drives around in the sports car daddy bought her. For maximum exposure to low-class girls, get a part-time job at the supermarket in the low-class part of the town. Low-class girls will go for an older guy way easier than all those middle-class flakes out there who think they're gonna be stars. As I say in a later section, the first time I saw a swinging magazine, I realized here was the adult Disneyland that all horny bastards and bitches crave. If an older guy with a half-decent body had money, he could spend the rest of his life answering and placing ads in swingers magazines, flying to meet the babes and doing it like the horny bastards we all really are underneath it all. If you've got more money, go to Angela City in the Philippines, Pattaya, Thailand, Bali, Indonesia, or Amsterdam, hang out at the go-go bars, find a horny chick and bring her back. Find younger girls on the swinger websites. Barring that, there are plenty of naive young guns and welfare single parents on the poor side of town looking for a sugar daddy. Barring that, be a candy man. Look for girls that like to catch a buzz and have the stuff at your place, grass, coke, etc. Barring that, any cool older dude can get some young fluff if he's just got some guts and treats them like they're the most specialist, cutest, loveliest thing on the planet. Girls are different than guys. Of course, they don't want a middle-aged geezer, but if you can be a cool guy, middle age won't matter. It's in the look, you gotta exercise to look younger. The reality is that available women outnumber men in this country, and of the available men, many take themselves out of the running by being pigs, assholes, jerks, slobs, rednecks, couch potatoes, nerds, mooks, jackasses and ginks, guys that most girls wouldn't go near even if they were desperate. Many guys in their 20s are straight out jerks, and many young ladies are extremely insecure and would welcome an older gentleman who will treat them nice and buy them nice things. Also, many single guys in their 30s are too independent and fed up to bother much with romance anymore. Cybersex and porno videos are great substitutes. The golden rule is that 95% of all people over the age of 40 are a combination of spiritually dead and set in their boring ruts. They're just making time until the funeral or the cremation. They know the entire score, work all day, watch TV, and drink beer, play golf or watch football on the weekends. If this is you, forget it. Women like guys who have a bit of spark and still act like they're 23 years old. You listen to good music, go out to events, go out into nature, watch MTV sometimes, have fun and stay physically active. Act like you love life and you can score with younger chicks. These are the basics. Get into some kind of reasonable shape, go to the gym, buy a Stairmaster, trade in the sedan for a sportier car with a nice stereo, buy some nice, new clothes, nothing ridiculous though that screams out midlife crisis, just something fashionable that's appropriate to the situation. And if you're gonna do something with your hair, can the toupee, go for the real transplant deal if you can afford it. If not, don't do anything stupid with it, just wash what's there with good shampoo and no more greasy stuff. If you have any facial hair, shave it all off and get rid of any jewelry except for a watch and maybe a ring with a cross necklace. Use breath mints to avoid bad breath and wear contacts or get eye surgery, no more glasses, especially the dorky black frames. Go easy on the onions and garlic. Use a little bit of a good smelling cologne. Older men want to be with younger women / intergenerational dating too. The secret to cool is being casual and being yourself naturally, not trendy because that gives off the phony vibe. No ponytails, polyester, lime suits, white shoes, hiking boots, or grunge wear. Go to the library and check out a few of the current men's magazines like GQ and Men's Fitness to get a look at the current styles and the current mindset. Don't go overboard though, just act cool. When you get close to your ideal weight, try to change jobs or companies you work for so that you can work on the new you without everybody laughing at your midlife crisis. Next, move into an apartment complex with mostly young singles living in it. Ideally, find an apartment or a house near a college campus and get involved with the college scene. Muscles aren't important but fat is, get rid of it. Get a NCE stereo and VCR at home, maybe some video games, no waterbed or mirrors. Keep it clean and neat. Keep some nice wine on hand and good tasting fast food, some junk and some health to cover all the bases just in case. Don't worry about dope or anything like that till later. And save some of your money for them surprise getaway weekends to Vegas or any other nice resort. Nobody in her age class can compete with that, and that's your advantage. You're probably one of the few older men out there that's confident enough to approach her in a realistic, romantic way. She may be interested just for the novelty of it, and that's perfectly alright for you to take advantage of her naive perception of you as the wise and loving sage. Get in tune with yourself. You want a young girl because spiritually, you're a young guy. Younger girls want young thinking men, and they will be attracted to older, younger thinking men. Age won't be that important if you got what it takes and some money to go with it, so keep working out and tanning at the local salon. Read the young women's magazines to learn what they're into so you can talk intelligently and buy intelligent gifts. Do you know what Depo-Provera is? What does PMS mean? Name 3 frivolous women's magazines: Glamour, Cosmopolitan, and MS. Thumb through them at the library. I sometimes watch those stupid fashion shows on MTV and those teenage girl shows on YTV to see what they're brainwashing the young girls with just to be up on it. Change your attitude. Act like a happening older guy of whom the most natural thing in the world is to romance a younger woman. Treat her like she's beautiful but you're not desperate. There's another bus around the corner, you can take it or take the one here now, no big deal to you either way. That's your manly but cool attitude. You will be nervous but just take it slow and casual. Be nice and all but don't go overboard. In other words, don't come on like a desperate schmuck. Don't be all over her but let her know you really like her. Women read vibes. She will read yours. Be real. Give it so much effort, then let her know that she has to like you back too. Don't be aloof. If you like somebody, let them know. You have to romance her, then once she gets the idea that you're a real possibility during the flirting dance, it's your job to sense it via her signals and respond appropriately by making the moves to seduce her. That's the game right there. Don't be trivial materialistic anymore. You gotta now be a more liberal thinking, deep guy who's into life for the experience of it all. You have to realize that all the time spent at work, the department chairman's job, the country club membership and all the other bull don't count for a crap if you're a lonely dude getting older with no one pretty and nice to share it with. When I was 22 and my buddy Wally was 44, I used to watch him put the moves on anything that moved. And it worked because he didn't give a damn. He'd just get half drunk and go up to them at the bars and start talking. Generally though, the young ones there want the young studs and / or a marriage partner, and the older divorcees in the bars could be kinda angry / bitter and / or desperate. You can meet girls anywhere by striking up a casual conversation. It may not happen the first time but keep going back. For instance, if the object of your affection is a checkout girl at a supermarket, keep going grocery shopping and making small talk with her. Go to the coffee shop and hang out for a while. Check out all the little restaurants in your area during off-peak times so you can talk to the waitresses if they're pretty and appear interested. Go to weddings and if you're a family friend, offer to take pictures. This is a good opportunity to meet people. Try to get near the beach for the summer, like renting a beach house if possible, then use young guys to try to get women to come over. Older men want to be with younger women / intergenerational dating. 3. If you want a young girl, you have to be a man, a real man, and show them that. Shake their hands like a man when you meet them and present them with a nice looking business card. Offer your hand immediately and check them out with the hand contact. Get a business card made if you don't already have one now. Display a strong sense of self-respect and show them that you will treat them like ladies should be treated, firm, strong, gentle but not tolerant of stupid mind games. Don't be a control freak, but you're the man, and that means you're the leader, so don't be afraid to be a little authoritative. You gotta have knowledge of money but not be a slave to it. You gotta be spiritual too and know things like Buddhism and can't to dazzle her with your bull. You have to show them that you're a sensitive guy into creative, inner exploration. That means go to college or take classes in such things as gourmet cooking, poetry reading, music, creative writing, ballroom dancing, TV production, photography, classes with active participation, so that you have to meet other people. You have to do it because that's where they are, on college campuses taking those kinds of courses. Next, take classes at some place like the YWCA and maybe try a few practical medical classes for nurse-type students where you have to do CPR and dress wounds, thus having contact with the other students. Take classes where girls outnumber guys like 10:1, i.e., nursing, art, elementary education, arts and crafts, jewelry making, psychobabble, cooking, fashion, etc. Invite them all over to your house for a party or a get-together, or take them all out for pizza on you. Better still, be a teacher in some artsy subject that lonely girls might take, like poetry reading or creative cooking. Try to make friends with younger guys, either at the gym, at your job or wherever. Invite them over to drink beer and watch football, then go hunting and stuff. It might give you a connection to their leftovers / friends, but mostly, it will put you in that frame of mind to keep you thinking young. You have to act like you do this all the time. It's perfectly normal for her to be talking to you like this. She's afraid of you, so the challenge is to set her at ease and make her like you. You do this by being cool, showing her that you know what's going on TV and in music, etc., being respectful and being fun. In all likelihood, she's trying to act cool on the outside while being a bit confused on the inside. She realizes she has a sexual power over men but is afraid of it as she totters between the search for a husband and exploring the big world outside of the cozy neighborhood she grew up in. So come on to her with tender gloves and act like a friend, maybe even an experienced, fatherly type friend. The biggest rule of all is don't act like a skin dog. That means use good manners and etiquette and don't chase them too hard. You will scare them. Don't look too hard with lust in your eyes, and don't talk sex or dirty jokes, at least until after a few dates. Don't act slick or play the stereotypical playboy role. Make them laugh and feel good. Buy them a nice present, then just act cool. You're walking a fine line here, somewhere between indifference and drooling over her. Don't talk cynical about marriage, sex, women, or anything like that. Be positive and upbeat. If you talk age, just tell her like it's no big deal. Tell her it's all about your age in your mind. Don't talk about other women or don't act like the superior wise old fool. Be complimentary and funny in good taste. Be helpful, like revealing your knowledge about cars, your ability with business matters, your ability to get her a summer job, etc. Be able to talk about your divorce like a man and admit you messed up, that you weren't emotionally mature enough to realize how precious she was until she was gone. Perhaps you can answer her curious questions about married life and all the problems associated with it. Don't get sucked in by a tease and slash or a gold digger unless it's worth it to you. If you want something real, don't be an absolute sugar daddy. Treat them nice but act like you want a permanent relationship even if you don't. That means firm but gentle, like you really care about them. Try to provide them with things that most younger guys won't go for, such as going to cultural activities or splurging on little weekend getaways to Pebble Beach or wherever. You will fail as you go along, but keep at it. Attitude is everything. Remember that to a young woman, you are, in all likelihood, intimidating, so loosen up and try to act like a funny, older dude like Rodney Dangerfield in the movie Back to School. Try to convey the impression that you had a hard time when young because you had gotten married at a young age and now realize that youth is for enjoyment and experience. Worry about the responsibilities of life later. Women are not all naive, vulnerable creatures. Many are cunningly manipulative and will use you to serve their ends, more than likely, financial, ego boost, to make others jealous, and for some, to fulfill some misplaced need for fatherly love. Some will have a fling with you, so take it for what's worth and then move on when they get tired of you. That's the way it goes these days, so don't sulk. You may be looking for a young un with which to relive your youth all over again and have that storybook marriage you think you deserve, but don't say I didn't warn you when she doesn't exactly share your vision. If you're 40ish or 50ish, the time to do it is now, because when you're 70, it will be almost too late. If you just want sex, you can hire a prostitute, but let's assume you want more than that. The first step is to meet the young lady. If you're married and want sex, it's not that hard for younger women who just want sex and a little bit of attention. Generally, they will see you as a casual sugar daddy toy because you're married. But if you're single and want a relationship, the situation totally changes. Older men want to be with younger women / intergenerational dating. 4. Be gentle and harmless. I must emphasize harmless because many of these girls will initially feel intimidated or scared off by you. But if you're reassuring and continue smiling, you got a shot at it. She needs lots of loving and understanding as she ponders the deep questions of life and tries to make sense of it all with some sense of naive idealism, so play along and act like the wise old sage who is a bit confused but fascinated by the beauty of it all too. Your best bet through all the muddle of young ladies out there is to look for a nice one who's not too beautiful or stunning but is just a decent, overall person. For starters, all those beauty queens will blow you off, and all those extreme idealists are just too messed up or too weird for a meaningful relationship. Many will probably be curious about an older man from all the hype in the soap operas and the magazines, so some may give you a chance for some casual sex then dispose of you. The big deal is that they're going against all normal cultural convention about being with an older man, so you know up front that the road may be rocky to break through to them, but if and when you do, it will be well worth it. Some may just be stringing you along and exploiting their power, others may use the affair as a kind of security blanket and learning tool, and still others may look to you as possible marriage-minded material. Who knows what the real deal is? Just go along for as long as you can and feel privileged that you're getting another crack at the beauty of youth. Practice gives you the edge. You will never get it perfect, there's no such thing. Practice dating anyone just for the experience. Practice talking to younger women and keeping them engaged in spontaneous conversations. When and if you finally do make it with a younger lady, don't use them. Respect them even if it's phony respect to get what you want out of the deal. If you don't have honorable long-term plans, don't lead her on. She's probably more mature than you give her credit for, so drop a few hints that it's a fun time but nothing serious. It will be better in the long run for you anyway, because she will be getting bored of you after a few months, so why get emotionally attached and then let yourself get burned? Look at the affair as a mutually satisfying life experience where you teach her about life and love and she passes on some of her youthful exuberance to you. That's the unspoken deal, the trade-off. Don't be underconfident or overconfident. In the end, patience is the best virtue. As already mentioned, many girls play little games like lead you on, then when you ask them out, they act all naive and blow you off. They do this to blow up their fragile egos, so watch out. In all likelihood, it's gonna happen to you. Offer to be helpful with something like fixing her car or something else. When asking her out on a date, be positive and suggest that she do something with you, like go to brunch, picnic at the park, or out to a play, something she might not generally expect from one of her age class male peers. If she refuses right away, don't show your disappointment, just act cool and remember there's a next time. You've now planted the seed in her and she will think about it a while, maybe even fantasize about it. Don't invite her to your place until she feels comfortable with you. It could turn her off if you ask her that too soon. Let things progress naturally if it's at all possible. In other words, don't force things too quickly or don't try to be too pushy and possessive. It will kill anything you may have had going for you. And if you're a real old fogey, it might be a good idea to take a nap before going out with her. When the situation calls for close romance, do as you would with any lady, read her emotional cues and take it accordingly as far as she wants to go. She wants to feel good, romantic, and loved, so smell nice and try to please her. Don't all of a sudden get serious when it happens. Just be natural and spontaneous. If you do manage to fall in love, relish it for the sweet and beautiful, crazy emotion it is. It may take you for a spin for a while, it may just be a quickie affair, or it may last a lifetime. Finally, there's a certain class or type of girl out there that could be easy picking if you play your cards right. These girls could be pretty and nice, but they come from broken/poor homes or they're probably in a low-class job. There are a lot of single welfare mothers out there who you could probably meet real easily. First, find a couple of low-class guys at your local low-class bar, make friends with them, then when you drive them around in your nice car, all the low-class girls will be curious about you. You could look around for a near homeless, poor girl that you kinda rescue from life. Check out the girls that work full-time at the fast food places and as waitresses, and check out girls. If they're a little chunky, that's all the better, less competition from the young studs. You can work the weight off them later. Or find a low-class singles apartment building where a bunch of single-parent welfare mothers live and move in for a while, or if you got the money, buy the building. If you got money, invest it in real estate for singles and rent to young women only. You will do better if you invest in low-class singles apartments, because these girls are often struggling to get by, so they're more susceptible to let you rescue them. Try to find real estate close to a college or a nursing school. If you've got money and time, open up a lingerie store, a bikini store, a strip joint, a perfume store, or something to do with beauty and fashions. Start any business that hires unskilled girls. Another potentially easy type is the naive, country girl. Go to country bars in the country, not in the city, go to country fairs, etc. and check them out. You could try for a job with young ladies, like teach at a college or learn a craft that's typically the domain of women, like gourmet cooking, ceramics, or jewelry making, and teach a night class with your local adult education program. Flea markets are full of low-class type girls. Bingo is a low-class venture for uneducated people. Go to bingos and look for the young ones there. Better still, get a job at a bingo hall or start your own. Open a tanning salon. 80% of your customers will be young women. Sell cosmetics at a flea market. You're only limited by your imagination. How many older musicians and artists have you ever seen with younger babes? If you have a fun skill like you're a magician or a singer, you can use it to attract younger women. A real easy way is just place an ad kinda like successful businessman, 44, with generous heart. Seeks attractive, young lady for friendship and romance. Whatever happens, take it like a man, and then when it's all over, move on in a mature manner with no jealousy or strings attached. And everybody's gonna be jealous and take pot shots at you, so get ready once you start going around with younger ladies on your arm. In the final analysis, prepare yourself before you do anything. Recognize that some young women will want you as a casual diversion while others will see you as protective daddy-o husband material. Don't be too open and too sensitive, because they will just write you off as a whoosh or use you up until you're looking at your chewed up bank statement and thinking about the memories. You will fail, but keep trying, because once you find that warm-hearted cutie, it will all be worth it. Look at it like a game and go out there and make it happen, so lose the gut, shave and do it. There's a 1997 movie called Rebecca about an older aristocrat who marries a young girl in 1926 that shows the differences between their generations, which makes for a good story. Chapter 2. A May December Love Guide. Feel young with a young lover. Many men love to date younger girls because they are attractive, wild, free, interested in learning about sex and fun. Girls can learn something about sex and life, and the guy can help them out with money. Men can be studs or attractive to women up until at least 70. There is always a fresh new crop of young women coming on the scene that men are lusting for. Chances are that the average middle-aged women ain't gonna find a decent guy, because men are looking for the youngest women they can attract. Men are instinctively wired to go after a waist-to-hip ratio that only young women have, which is 0.8. The waist is 80% the size of the hips. Men are instinctively wired to impregnate young women. It's human nature. It's hard to fight. There are a few funky older women around, but not very many. We are what we are by nature. If you saw that National Geographic show about the alpha male gorilla, you saw that nobody taught this guy to impregnate hundreds of young females. He did it on his own through instinct. Are we that different from gorillas in our true natures? Age differences in love. As people grow older, age differences become less important. The general stereotype about age differences in love is the guy over 45 years old, usually on his second marriage, shacks up with a girl under 30 years old, often called the May December romance, but this is by far not exclusively what age differences in love are all about. Teenage girls, or should I say their parents and society, go crazy if a 17-year-old girl goes out with a 24 or 30-year-old guy. Older women are very self-conscious if they start dating a guy 3 or more years younger than them, and it's usually not them per se, it's the society they live in, namely our Western, capitalist society. I don't know why our society is so down on age differences in love. In many societies, arranged marriages are encouraged, but even if they're not, the general game is that an older guy marries a younger girl. He provides economic security. She provides a healthy body for sex and children. This is the way it has always worked on a subconscious level. The fact is that older men prefer younger women. Younger women want older men because young men are generally poor, ambitious, egotistical, cheating dogs. They don't make good marriage material. After going out with 10 dogs in a row, a young girl starts looking for somebody more stable who doesn't have to sow their wild oats because they already have, which is an older guy. And why do women, or at least mainstream society, condemn older women younger men relationships? The truth is that age, ethnic or religious differences don't mean much when it comes to soulmates. When you look at someone and you see an opposite sex version of you and they see the same in you, age doesn't really matter much. I've lived through this myself both ways. I've been emotionally connected to a woman 13 years older than me and a girl 20 years younger than me, and in both cases, the age had nothing to do with it except for the scorn you get from both people you know, like parents and the general public at large. People will snicker out in the street if they see an older dude with a young girl acting romantically, or an older woman with a younger guy. It's all in that immediate primal soul connection. At one time, I looked across a public gym and I saw this beautiful, well-built girl. I didn't know she was 13 years older than me. She smiled at me, bent down low so I could get a good look at her tits, and that was it for me at the time. Then when I was older, I look across a supermarket aisle and I see this bohemian-looking girl with an "I don't give a fuck, I'm here for the ride" look standing there, smiling at me. I knew I was 20 years older than her, but our attraction was irresistible. We had a brief, passionate affair before other factors broke it up, which I won't get into here, but it happened and age didn't matter. I still don't think age matters at any age, but then you get Dr. Fat ass on TV chastising some 30-year-old guy for going out with this 17-year-old girl, and I'm thinking, who cares, and what gives you the authority or right to judge these people? And on top of that, why do these people take it? Why did they even dignify it by appearing on this talk show? If two people meet and feel some connection, that's all that matters, but society has these certain blinders on about it. May-December romances, negative view. May-December romances are generally about one thing: money for the younger one, usually a girl, but there are some boys out there shacking up with older, wealthy women in order to be protected by them. Some people claim that some girls have a father complex where they want to be taken care of, but this is really the same thing as the money the old guy represents. Many women of all ages stay with their guys because they want to be taken care of without having to go out into the cruel world by themselves to work a dull job and do all the drab things everybody else has to do to earn a living. Many women will sacrifice their potential for independence and even love with a younger mate like themselves in order to be taken care of, and I can't blame them because life is tough and I wouldn't want to be out there working a drab job I don't like. But at the same time, there comes a point where any true person feels less than a full human being, like they're being kept in a gilded cage, and want to be free. Many women and men unscrupulously marry fat, older, ugly guys and gals with the intention of staying for a few years, getting what they can, maybe having a baby, then leaving, whereupon the guy will keep paying them for child support, which is often enough to cover her expenses too, not to mention the divorce settlement, especially in a community property state. Or they will marry a real old guy and hope he leaves them all his money when he dies. Some even help their old husbands die by putting poison in his food. May-December marriages generally don't work out because the young girl gets a protector, security figure like dad, and he gives her a nice house, a car to drive, etc. But ultimately she feels trapped, like she's missing time being young and frivolous, hanging out with young folks, so she takes the guy for a ride for a while, then when she's ready, she splits to do her own thing. A nerdy 41-year-old acquaintance of mine had a lot of money, so he got shacked up with this 20-year-old fake blonde. She hung around for a few years while he paid for her college and everything else, intelligently not having any kids. Then she divorced him and got what she could. I knew from the first moment I saw her that she didn't have any true warm feelings for him, but he was too love-struck to listen to reason. Now he's got a website, still looking for love. He's a fool. Instead of looking for someone to love him, he should do something to change his nerdiness. He's basically a chubby couch potato type, not unlike all those middle-aged guys you see around wearing their knee-length baggy shorts with a protruding gut hanging over, playing golf like it was the coolest thing around. May-December romances, positive view. I was talking to some older woman who was shacked up with some guy 20 years younger than her, and she said, "All you need is love." The essence of an older-younger relationship, which could be anywhere from 10 to 60 years difference, is to have fun and try for love just like any normal couple, but agree to disagree and still respect each other. People born a generation apart generally have different tastes, likes and dislikes. Their good, old days are a bit different, so what they perceive as fun and good may be a bit different, but if you can get past it, overall, people are basically the same at heart. They all need loving, to give love, to talk to someone and release their emotions. Age differences don't really matter with love. It has nothing to do with midlife crisis, a father complex, the Oedipus complex, robbing the cradle, although in some cases, it seems like he's got his trophy wife and she, the young woman as the gold digger, wants to be taken care of, and there's nothing wrong with that if the two are mature people and know what's going on. The older guy knows she's young and doesn't want him for his looks. She knows he's an old guy, but even the unlikeliest of people can develop emotional attachments, and if he takes care of her in exchange for her companionship, then it's a fair deal. The positive view of age differences in love is that people look for love, and when they find it, they stay. They don't care about anything else. I myself have been attracted to women 10 years or more older than me because their essences were beautiful. I wanted to be close to them. The spiritual beauty of a human being knows no age. Anybody can have it at any age. Virtually all age-different couples I see on TV talk shows say the age difference doesn't matter one bit. There are so many that they don't consider themselves odd or even special enough to form a club. If you make the commitment, then it's you too. Disregard what everybody else says. If they're positive, they're your friends. If negative, stay away from them, even relatives if they're busy triflers. When the older guy goes to meet her parents, just act cool like it's the most natural thing in the world, even if you are older than her father. Don't skip a beat when you talk to him. Just tell them you love each other, you're a good provider, a stand-up guy, case closed. It's really none of the old man's business. It's between you and his daughter, but be careful if she's under 18. The old man will call the cops and try to get you on statutory rape. It's a free world. People can do whatever they want as long as they're good about it. Age differences in relationships is a minor issue in the grand scheme of things. Let's face it, man's greatest inspiration is probably fresh young women regardless of age. Young women help keep an older guy young. The only problem is that they get older, then you wanna trade them in, kinda like Picasso, Gauguin, and a few other artist types always chasing after young women, but that's not the point here. It's really about monogamous relationships with younger people. Men generally have a physical attraction to younger women. Some younger women generally have a soul attraction to older men. If you're the younger person, ask yourself, why are you attracted to this person? Is it a maturity thing like a wise older person that you feel you're attracted to? Is it the quiet, comfortable stability of age? What do you have in common? What about differences? Are you embarrassed out in public with this person? Could you handle criticism and looks from outsiders? Can you love each other freely? Can you be happy together? Can you fulfill your own personal destiny while with this person? If you're serious beyond the gold digger material security part, do some serious soul searching, then if it feels right, go with it. Know that there will be bumps on the road due to age differences, but know that love can conquer all. I've seen some very happy age-different couples like the 80-year-old man and the 40-year-old woman. If you both agree to commit, you gotta bury the age difference. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. Make it a non-issue. You're just two human beings bringing what you can into the relationship. Proceed with romance and sex as naturally as you can, just people loving and exploring each other. If the older person has kids, they're probably full-grown or nearly so. The best course of action is to introduce your flame as a friend and let them proceed casually as friends. There may be some jealousy there, but if you take your kids aside and explain that this person is good for you, he or she is helping you, they're a good person, etc., this might help your kids respect him or her and grow to like them because they're helping their father or mother out by being with them and making them happy. Don't compare this relationship to your previous ones with people near your age. There will be new and different situations, so expect them. Also, your young flame will probably be interested in your past relationships, so you should sit down sometime and tell her the story to clear the air and get it over with so she knows where you're coming from. The greatest problem is that of the older person taking the know-it-all, wise old jerk parental role. Be wary that you don't come on too strong with taking charge, giving unsolicited advice, or delegating household chores to your younger mate. Play it cool. Let her experiment and find her own way. Do what you have to do to take care of yourself and work together with her for the household management and chores. Don't try to get her to do things for you like be your maid or slave. If the house is unkempt, start doing it on your own. She should take a hint and help out. If you're the older guy and want to have kids with your young wife, there's a good chance you will die before the kid reaches maturity. Above all, have patience with your spouse, for they're slightly different than you and in a different headspace with regards to where they're at in their lives. Books about age differences in relationships are at #306.7 and HQ801 at the library. Chapter 3. Age Gap Intergenerational Dating Websites. Age Gap Dating Advice Websites 1. 4bitterguys.com. advicelady.com/idisagree.html. ambitiousdouglas.blogspot.com/2005/10/extreme-age-differences. Extreme age differences in marriage can lead to infidelity. couplescompany.com/advice/whaling/May December relationships. datingmatchmakers.com/wedding/age-difference-in-relationship. dearcupid.org/category/age_differences. ehow.com, how to deal with a dating age gap. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/age_disparity_in_sexual_relationships. filipinowives.com/age-differences.htm. findarticles.com, trends on May/December relationships. forbeginners.info/dating/age-gap.htm. freeromancetips.com/understanding_age_gap_relationships.html. futurescopes.com/age-gap-dating. go-see-kit.com/relationships/May-December-relationship. gotquestions.org/age-differences-relationships. groups.yahoo.com/group/May-December_relationships. howtodothings.com, how to handle a significant age difference while dating. marriage-relationships.com/age_difference_relationships. maidc.com. professionaldatingadvice.com/relationships/age differences. relationshipgold.com/free articles/differences 2. relationshiploveadvice.com/2/May December relationships. relationships4life.net/May December relationships. sololady.com/blogs.aspx. sododating.com/articles/age-gap-dating-someone-much-younger.htm. virtualinsanity.org/May December/older man/about. Age gap dating advice websites 2. confidentialcounseling.info/secrets-dating-young-women.htm, secrets of dating younger women. answers.yahoo.com, older men dating younger women. askheartbeat.com, advice young women need before dating older men. askmen.com. datingdoctor.com/whyyoungerwomen.html. datingmagic.net. datingmiracles.com. dig.com/odd_stuff/older_men_dating_younger_women_is_it_wrong. mamashealth.com/dating/olderman/default.asp. matchdoctor.com. menshealth.co.uk. overthehill.info/articles/women.html. seniorjournal.com. vitalyinfocenter.com/articles/older_men_younger_women_sex.html. relationship.lifetips.com/cat/64849/intergenerational-relationships. top2date.com/n/spec/intergenerational_dating. age gap intergenerational dating websites. People of either gender date people more than 10 years older or younger than them. agegapdating.com. agegapdating.eu. agegapdating.net. agegapmingle.com. agelesscupid.com. agelesskiss.com. agelesslove.com. agelesslove.com/boards. agelessonly.com. agematch.com. datesitereviews.com/reviews/intergenerational-singles. euageless.com, Europe. FindingLoveAfter50.com. Futurescopes.com/age-gap-dating. GoCougar.com. Intergenerationaldating.net. It'sJustANumber.com. LiveDateSearch.com/spec/intergenerational_dating. LuckyAmericans.com. MayDecember.net, dating service. NGDating.com. OlderPartner.com.